Welcome to the Fans of the DC Universe Podcast Retrospective Part 1, featuring the first appearance of the various contributors to its esteemed content. It's hard to imagine now that DC Universe first started back in September of 2018. About a month or so after it launched, some of us at DC Universe community had a need to communicate directly and easily concerning the new DC Universe book club and the new original programming, as the original DC Universe Community 1.0 did not have that function yet. Using at first email, young Nathan Payson, probably 16 at the time, strongly suggested the five of us use a platform called Discord to message each other. The rest, as they say, is history. The free Discord channel allowed us to not only create special interest rooms to stay on topic, but to also have the ability to do group vocal chat. Pretty soon we used these watch-along rooms to gather after the latest DC Universe Friday evening watch-alongs to talk about the episode we just watched as a group. We would even have R.A. Elliott, part of the special effects team for Titans and Doom Patrol, stop by and at least do a typing chat and listen to us while we vocally chatted on the Discord server. Joshua Lapin-Bertone, one of the news article writers for DC Universe, would also join Friday evening chat sessions, and Applejack, manager of the DC Universe community moderators, would often stop by and either do a typing chat as she listened or even at times vocally pipe in as well, to our delight. This went on for several months until probably early spring 2019, when for whatever reasons folks stopped joining the chat and we stopped doing it. But about 3 months later, in the summer of 2019, Nathan came up with the idea of doing a weekly podcast using the same vocal chat capabilities of Discord, along with a recording add-on he had discovered. The topics would be similar to what we had been discussing in the informal Friday evening after watch-along chats, things like the latest episode of a DC Universe original series, latest newly digitized comics, events at DC Universe and DC Comics, etc. Well, now 40 episodes in, and a year later, here's a retrospective of these podcasts. And for this first couple of retrospectives, we want to focus on the first appearances of various participants, along with special guests that have been featured. So for this episode, you'll meet Duke CT45 and Nathan Payson as they test out the Discord server technology and record episode 0. Then you'll meet New 52 of Wonder Woman and DC Pride Club fame, and myself, Donnell. During this first part of the retrospective, you'll also meet Aquaman C-137 and Toonatonian, all super fans of the DC Universe and DC Comics, as well as DC animated features. And all of us also actively participate in the DC Universe community events and conversations to this day. Have fun!
Okay, just started.
Okay. Hi. Hello, everyone. This is Duke CT with Nathan Payson. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I am tired, but I'm surviving.
That's all we can do. So, this DC, this is a nice little DCU podcast. We don't even have a name for it yet, so, well, but hey. Anyway, let's see what type of comic books and such have you been reading on, like, say, the DC Universe. What type of stuff have you been reading lately? Me, I've been reading the Saga of Swamp Thing since the TV show has been up, and I've been enjoying Alan Moore's takes of it. It's been a very, I honestly think it's probably one of the most interesting comics stuff that I've seen in a good long while.
You know? I've only read the first part, but the first issue. But I really, really liked the first issue. And I felt like it encapsulated a lot of what I think the run is, of this like sense of finding humanity and not being human. And I think that's a really cool look.
Yeah, and that is the that's really the interesting part of Swamp Thing, is how do you find yourself trying to get back your humanity while trying to trying to fight off these threats and such. It's these type of stories that really make you wonder. It is an interesting type of way of what is humanity, how these when people think of Swamp Thing and seeing how he just a way to connect with this type of creature, and seeing how so much of an empathical creature, this type of thing, the thing is Swamp Thing, and then how he is connected to the green, the forest, and trees, and everything else in the DCEU, or whatever you want to call it, the DC Universe, and how he makes choices to help save not only the green but also humans, and how he treats treats and looks upon himself like, hey, how he pretty much relates to the common man, even though he is
a literal swamp monster.
Yeah, it's it's Frankenstein's monster with it's Frankenstein's monster, but also with all the crazy stuff that has been with the Swamp Thing, and seeing how all that thing is, and how just how he weighs in, and how he becomes this type of iconic, some would say, but sometimes some would say it's more of a a fixture of these, like the weird and wacky stuff of the DC universe.
In comparison, we were talking about humanity. I've just read Tom King's Mr. Miracle. It is really, really good, and it messes a lot with reality of the situation in a really cool way, in that there's a bunch of times where the art sort of blurs, and it gives you that eerie effect of, is this really happening? And Mitch Gerads is the artist, and he's phenomenal at creating a sense of what's going on. And it's really cool seeing the humanity of Scott Free, as he tries to survive and have a family, and the reality of that with the new god's craziness that exists in the world. And so that's been really fun.
Yeah, trying to be normal in a world that is not really normal, trying to go for the traditional type of things, being married, having a good life, and but at the end of the day, it's just, you just feel like you can't do it. You're just like,
oh, absolutely. And the ending was kind of unsatisfying, but it felt like a good ending. I wish there was more to it, and I got all the answers I wanted, but life doesn't give you answers, And it was really interesting, because the thing that Scott Free wants to escape, right? He's a master escape artist, but he can't escape his problems. We can't escape our mental health problems and the challenges in front of us. We can literally escape stuff, but we can't mentally escape it. And so that was really fun. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Fans of DC Universe Podcast, the only place where members of the DCU can come together to talk about what they are reading, watching, and more. Joining us today are me, Nathan Payson, Donnell, New 52.
Hello. Hello.
And today we are covering the triumphant return of Young Justice and the fantastic Southern Gothic that is Swamp Thing, Episode 6, as well as talking about Legion of Superheroes, the Man of Steel miniseries by Bendis, and more. But first we have some news. The biggest DC news today is that Doom Patrol's People Like Us is on YouTube. Here's a quick clip. I actually have to pull this up. I failed miserably. So you guys recognize this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this is the clip from Danny the Street, where Negative Man's coming out. So what did you guys think of the song? That song being Danny the Street, or on Danny the Street?
I love the song because I do like Kelly Clarkson. So when that cover came on, I was in love with it. I actually watch it before going to class on Saturdays because I dread going on Saturdays, but that song gets me like upbeat and ready for the whole day.
Oh, you listen to the song before classes?
Yeah.
That's so great. Do you listen
It's
to that
definitely
version?
peppy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Both of you were talking at the same time.
Do you listen to that version?
Now I do because I bought it on iTunes when it came out, but at first I was just listening to the version that was on the episode.
That's so awesome. That's a
No, it
great
is
song.
amazing. And it's a good sign, too, I think, of things to come that we might hear announced in a couple of weeks.
Please give us a soundtrack, like a full soundtrack. Don't do this like one song. It's really annoying. But the soundtrack for Doom Patrol and Titans are both so good. But if you can't actually find it on iTunes, because they didn't release it, they just released like the one song. And I've been listening.
Well, the person that worked on the soundtrack did release a few tracks on his website, I believe.
Okay, that's right. But that's it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, rest in peace. Also, FYI, DC Universe is at RTX tomorrow with a Young Justice screening. My guess is they're going to show episodes 17, 18, and 19. But that's all their news. Now, let's talk about what we are reading. But before we do, DC Universe added Bane Conquest number 12, Batgirl number 24, Batman Beyond number 21, Batman Prelude to the Wedding, Harley Quinn versus the Joker number 1. That's such a mouthful. Terrible naming skills. Wow. Detective Comics number 983, Flash number 49, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 47, Hellblazer number 23, Injustice 2 Chapter 64, The Man of Steel number 5, Mara Queen of Atlantis number 5, Mother of Panic Gotham AD number 4, Raven the Daughter of Darkness number 6, The Silencer number 6, Teen Titans Special number 1, The Terrifics number 5, Wonder Woman number 49. Man, that's a mouthful. That's a lot. They also newly digitized a bunch of stuff, including Everyone's Loving Ambush Bug from 1985. That is all that that's what they added this week. So what are you guys reading from the list?
Oh, there's actually more that they digitized. There was Orion the Immortal number 3, Batman Family number 10,
Dead Man number 4.
Mm-hmm. Right, so Doom Patrol 4,
Mm-hmm.
Hour Man 10, Human Defense Corps number 4, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane, which is
that's such a wacky series.
Number 7, but you know
it.
me, I love my wacky covers.
And then Two-Face Year 1, yeah. Number 1 and 2 of 2. So they had a lot of good stuff this week.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you quick what I am enjoying. And again, appreciate all the book clubs and New 52. I just wish I could figure out a way to squeeze in your book clubs there. That one you're doing right now looks very intriguing. If I can figure it out, I'll join in. But it's kind of nutty out there with all these book clubs and watch alongs, right? But for me, the stuff I'm most looking forward to, I am interested in the Detective Comics 983 because it starts that whole new series of The Outsiders. Flash 49, I'll continue to read that because I didn't originally. Man of Steel 5, I'm following along, Nathan, with your new to DCU book club there. And the Terrifics, I was reading that through those Walmart giant 100-page specials, and I stopped buying them after a bit. And I think this is about where it would pick up where I hadn't read. And again, what I love about Terrifics, it has the ancestor to Phantom Girl of the Legion that we'll talk about later. And again, for the newly digitized stuff from the past, Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, there's just so many reasons. History, the comedy of it, of course. And like anything historic, there's also the stuff that you just want to bury your head because it's so embarrassingly, politically incorrect what they're doing on a lot of that. Like Lois all worried about things like kids and all this. That's got to be the only driving. So that's it. I was just, that's what I'm looking for. How about you, New 52? Anything in there you like?
Well, I'm catching up with Batgirl, the Rebirth series. So I'm on 20 right now. So I'm about to be caught up with it. And I'm also reading the Wonder Woman series.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Fans of DC Universe podcast, the only place where members of the DC Universe come together to talk about what they are reading, watching, and more. Joining us today are Nathan Payson, me, Donnell.
Hello.
New 52.
Hi.
And brand new to the podcast, Aquaman C137.
Howdy, y'all.
Today we will be covering Doom Patrol's Emmy chances, HBO Max, Young Justice Outsiders Episode 17, Man of Steel, and Sam Humphrey's Green Lanterns, and more if we have time. First, the news. New 52, do you want to read this one?
Of course. So Emmy nominations will be revealed on July 14th. So the question we're asking is, does Doom Patrol have a chance? Now, before we get started, DC Universe has put stuff in for consideration. I'll make sure to post the Reddit post with the info in the DC Universe community post for the podcast episode, or Nathan will. So everyone, is there one award you would like to see Doom Patrol or Titans nominated for?
That's a good one. Well, I think Titans, I would think the costumes. I really enjoyed the way they had them in, the leather and all that. It seemed much more natural than your typical circus acrobat tights that they have superheroes wear.
The person who I most like to receive this award is Diane Guerrero for Best Leading Actress. She plays Jane, and what impresses me so much about her is that she can like swap between like 7 or 8 different versions of herself, 7 or 8 different personalities with different physicality and etc. Like at the drop of a hat, and that's what's so impressive to me is like, what is it, episode 2 or whatever? Actually, it's episode 1. She has like 7 or 8 different things, including like Baby Doll. She does Sylvia. The fact that I can name all the different personalities is telling of just how good she is. And I think that was probably the most fun part. Is she every personality had different physicality, voice style, like voicing, voice structure. So like, for example, some would have stutters, that sort of stuff. And on top of that, like, she was just such a diverse and like emotional like range actress, and I think she deserves like a nomination for sure.
I gotta agree with both of you, because Donnell, the Hawk and Dove costumes were just gorgeous to me. I loved every aspect, every little detail that went into them. And Nathan, you're right about Diane Guerrero. She's completely versatile, and she's able to showcase that throughout the show. But what I think Doom Patrol should really get nominated for is Outstanding Main Title Design, because that opening sequence is breathtaking.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
I like the opening scene for sure. I'm a bigger fan of Swamp Thing's opening scene. That's one that like I never skip. But I do agree that the actress that plays Jane, her range was very good, and honestly, she was my most favorite part of the show.
Well, Aquaman, what's cool with you is you've actually posted pictures of yourself relaxing on a Sunday in the swamp. So it makes sense to me. You'd really love swamp.
Yeah, sorry to get off topic a little bit, but those pictures I posted were from Greenfield Lake, which is actually where I think it's from the first episode. Correct me if I'm wrong, but where the Alex boat explodes. That's actually where that was filmed.
Wow, cool.
And I've also, the other day when I was taking a walk after being at the comic shop, Memory Lane Comics in Wilmington, I saw the bridge, that you see Shauna and Abby jump off of and everything, and it was pretty cool. I've never lived in a place where something I like has been filmed in, so it was pretty cool.
Hope you don't mind. We're all envying you, my friend. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really funny because growing up in Memphis, like a lot of films take place in some capacity in Memphis, Tennessee. I don't live there anymore, but I'd watch something that takes place there, and I'm like, wait, that was like 30 like minutes from, that's like downtown. The craziest story is, this is a weird personal story, is I was living in this house in Memphis, and Guillermo del Toro had an agent come to the house to take pictures from the inside of the house to decide if they wanted to film a movie there. They ended up not filming it there, but it was weird. They were just like, we really like your house, and we think it's in the perfect place. So we want to see if we like it. And it was like one of the top 5 houses for the movie. Very weird experience.
I did say that as I think about settings with the Titans, where it showed Raven's home area and all that. that was just spookily realistic. It looked like a real neighborhood.
Might have been. I just wanted to say that, Don, you said you wanted them to get something for costume design. Unfortunately, they did not submit anything for consideration for nominations on costume design, but they did propose Diana Guerrero, and there was one more that was said. Oh, best title sequence, main title design. So they did submit those two. I was looking over the list, and the one thing I hope they also get is a nomination for best or best makeup for a single camera series for Danny Patrol. So, which with all the drag queens and all that, like I thought that was a very fun makeup wise.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I'm hoping they get Outstanding Director for a Drama Series nominated for Titans, Hank and Dawn. That episode was one of my favorite of any DC shows ever.
I hope they do a spinoff of the series. It seemed like they might be. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Fans of the DC Universe Podcast, the only DC Universe podcast for the fans, by the fans, and the best source of all DC Universe news and discussion on everything DCU. Joining me today are me, Nathan Payson, Don L.
Hello.
New 52.
Hi.
And joining us for the first time, Toonatonian.
Hello.
Today we are talking about Harley Quinn, Swamp Thing Episode 9, and Young Justice Episode 19, and the DC Universe panel. But before we start, our hearts go out to Warren Appleby, a stunt coordinator on Titans, who died after a stunt rehearsal went wrong. For the next 3 weeks, we'll have a moment of silence at the start of every podcast in honor of him. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay. Now let's move on to what came to DC Universe. Today, new comics have come to this week. New comics have come to the DC Universe, including Batman number 51, Batman: Sins of the Father chapter 12, Batwoman number 17, Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman number 6, Cape Carson and the Interstellar Eye number 5, Damage number 7, Future Quest presents number 12, Green Lanterns number 51, Harley Quinn number 46, Injustice 2 chapter 62, Injustice versus the Masters of the Universe number 1, Justice League number 4, New Challengers versus number 3, Wildstorm number 15, and newly digitized, which means already released like years ago, but it's finally coming to the digital realm, is Detective Comics number 318, Doom Patrol number 8, Hourman number 15 and 16, House of Secrets number 104, Johnny Thunder number 3, Law number 2, Superman Presents the Phantom Zone number 3, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane number 8. Now, real quick, just an FYI, DC Universe did not put all of these comics on their list this week. There was some sort of tech error, and Batman number 51 and Green Lanterns number 51 and Harley Quinn number 46, I know for a fact are not on there. I don't know why. They just aren't. So what have you guys read off this list this week?
Well, I've started reading Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman, but I haven't read number 6 yet.
So how is it? Do you like it?
It's pretty good because I enjoy the relationship between Batman and Wonder Woman when they're friends, and it tackles a lot of like Irish mythology, which you don't really see Wonder Woman in typically, so that's pretty interesting.
That is really interesting. What is like their relationship? Because like we all know Superman and Wonder Woman have a relationship, but I've never really looked at the Bruce-Diana relationship.
Yeah, so in this comic right now where I'm at, it's still like friendship where they have maybe some feelings for each other that are romantic, but they've never actually gone there.
Ooh. There's an animated movie where they have a Bruce, Superman, Lois Lane relationship too. I'll have to look it up. That's cool.
Wait, Bruce, Superman, and Lois Lane, like a love triangle?
Yeah, like Bruce comes to Metropolis. Yeah, Bruce comes to Metropolis and hits on Lois Lane, and yeah, they go out to dinner. It is an animated movie, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
see
I
which
thought it
one
was from the
is.
animated series, the Superman animated series.
No, there's an actual movie, animated movie too.
What?
Oh.
My mind
Yeah.
is like actually blown right now. What the frick? Donnell, have you
Yeah, I
ever
want to
heard of
say
this?
it's.
I'm wondering. That sounds awfully familiar. Was that a young Bruce Wayne?
It was a younger Bruce Wayne. Hold on, I'll find it. Keep
Fascinating, because it
talking.
almost sounds like an episode of Smallville.
It does, but I actually haven't seen Smallville, but I've read enough about it to believe so.
Because there was an episode where Bruce Wayne showed up on Smallville, and that might be after Lois Lane showed up on the show. So who knows? Maybe I'm thinking of that too.
I don't
What
think
fun.
Bruce showed up on Smallville. Maybe in the
Here
comics.
we go. Here we go. It's
Ooh.
Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. It's
it's the
2009.
wow. Then
2009.
do they fight
Yeah, that's
over
a good
Lois?
one.
Do they fight over Lois Lane?
Not. It's pretty friendly. I mean, it's one of those where Clark's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, I'm showing her a good time."
That is so creepy.
So they don't. Yeah,
I
it was good though. It was enjoyable. It was
I have a
fun.
hard time seeing Bruce hitting on Lois. Like it sounds like the meanest move you could ever make.
I know, because he has all this money, and poor Clark's just working at the newspaper, so it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Superman's like the best of all of us. It's like the best of everyone. Bendis actually went on Seth Meyers yesterday and was talking about how he's like, it's like working with the greatest person of all time. Like if it's not the best possible move, it's not Superman. Like if it's not the kindest thing, it's not Superman. So it's so weird to hear Batman who's like does like selfish stuff, and like hitting on Lois Lane, like the kindest of all of us. It sounds like such a jerk move.
It kind of was, yeah. He's like, I'm going to give you a run for my money.
Wow.